All right, it is 10 a.m. I'm going to give people just, I'm going to check my email and check my messages just to see if anyone is struggling to get on, because that happens. I've found that happens. But you all got here. So that tells me the room is generally working. Give me a moment. I'm going to send a quick announcement that if anyone can't get in, they should text me, because I don't really look at my email while teaching. And then if no one has hopped in by that point, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm just checking the queue. A few people hopped in and then one person disappeared, but hopefully they will be able to come back. One last quick check. Okay, sorry, 1 second. Someone has joined office hours instead of class. So I'm going to send them a quick message. And I appreciate your patience. This is just, there's a lot of first day. This always happens every first day. So All right, it wouldn't be day one without any, oh good, they're here. All right, it wouldn't be day one without a few hiccups now. Now would it? No, it would not. So, but we roll with it. So welcome to fall 2021. My name is Professor Allison Whipple. And as I said in my email, I'm starting my 9th year at ACC. I've been teaching either through higher ed or independently since 2005, which doesn't feel that long ago, but then when I stop to think about it, it is. And in between that, I've also worked as a freelance editor. I've done some freelance content development. I've specialized a lot with small businesses and sole proprietors. I've had a lot of interesting and creative business and tech writing oriented jobs along the way. And but this is my favorite thing, is to come and teach this class and help you all learn to be writers in a way that is a little more practical than maybe you've had before. So to get started, I would like to, before we dive into group introductions, I would like to introduce Catherine, who is the embedded writing tutor for this class. This is, again, a new initiative. I'm so excited for it. Now I'll let Catherine introduce herself.
Hello, y'all. You'll have to excuse my voice. Allergies are clearing my throat today, but I'm glad to be here with y'all. I am your embedded tutor, which means that I'm dedicated to you all specifically. Embedded means I am in the course with you. So I have access to all of Professor Whipple's materials, your assignments, the pacing of the course, etc. And of course, you're always welcome to use any of the tutors at ACC. They're available to you in a wide variety of subjects. But the nice thing about having me in here is that I am familiar with your course, and I'm working in collaboration with your professor to tutor and meet your needs and work through the course material with you. So I hope to meet all of you at some point during the semester. Let me just show you a couple of things. If I could get my screen to share here. Y'all see your Blackboard course? Awesome, thanks. Okay, I'm always confused with Zoom because it doesn't exactly show me what I'm sharing with you. Anyway, here is your class with all of your links along the sidebar there, and you'll see that I have my very own link embedded tutor. If you click on this, you will see a short intro video. I suggest watching it. It's short and it gives you a little bit more information about me. I have been working at ACC for 6 years. I work in the Department of Composition and Literary Studies, but I am a full-time tutoring specialist with the Online Learning Lab as well. I've been teaching writing for about 30 years. Professional technical writing is some of my favorite because it's immediately useful in students' lives, and they can see, oh yes, I will be using, memos or resumes or reports or things of that nature, whereas it's a little harder to get students to recognize the importance or usefulness of a literary analysis. So I think these classes are fun because students are more motivated to learn the different forms. Underneath my intro, this little welcome message tells you how to schedule an appointment with me. And I have linked a Google Doc here for you. Also, this is my email address that you can feel free to use at any time. The Google Doc, if you click here, it will show you my schedule down at the bottom, some tips for successful tutoring. And it gives you a link to the form where you will request a session. One thing that I would like to point out is that I'm available to you for individual sessions, but I also will be holding weekly group sessions where we'll go over the concepts of the week, or you can bring in questions of a more general nature, questions that would be useful to the whole class to know the answer, as opposed to bringing in your paper and me working with you specifically on that. That's for the individual sessions. However, I like to get a feel for the class before I set the schedule sort of in stone for the semester. And y'all should have gotten a copy of this announcement in your email as well. There's a survey in it that's going to be asking you to tell me a little bit about what times you would prefer me to be available to you. I can't promise that everyone's going to get their first choice or be super happy about it, because I do have many different sections that I have to juggle the schedule, but I really do want to do my best to meet the needs of the class as a whole. So if y'all could fill this out for me, I'd really appreciate it. There's also a bit down here where you can just type in anything else that you want me to know. One of the things that you'll notice is I don't have early morning hours on here. This doesn't necessarily mean that I will never be available to you during those hours. It's just I've found that students prefer me to be available in the evening. And so in order to keep working 12 to 13 hours every day, I have to cut it off somewhere. But I do also want to emphasize, if you come down to this schedule right here and you look at it and you go, well, that doesn't fit my schedule at all, I guess I won't have any tutoring. Don't do that. Send me an email and tell me what your situation is, or what time or day you would like to come in, and we'll see what we can work out, because I want to have you in a tutoring session. So I'm going to do my best to work with you to get that done. So don't be shy about using my email and saying, I know this is outside of your scheduled times, but would it be possible to get a session at 9 a.m. on Friday, right? And we'll work it out that way. Just a quick note about the tutoring form. That is this link here for tutoring by appointment. Just so you see what it looks like this. You type in your name, your EID, and please make sure that you're using your ACC email address, because if you don't have the one with the G, the rest of the form won't open. So make sure you're using that address. Please choose online campus, because that is the campus that I work for. Come down and choose your subject, right? And then choose my name from the drop-down menu. That ensures that that request goes directly to me. If you choose a different campus, it may be delayed in getting to me. So that's not to say it won't ever get to me, but it won't get to me as fast. And then put 2 or 3 times that will work for you, putting Professor Whipple's name so I know what course you're coming from. And here's where the great thing is, because I'm embedded, you don't have to spend a whole lot of time describing the assignment instructions, right? You can just say memo, week 2 memo, or whatever, and I'll immediately know what that is. Here, though, tell me what you want help with so that I can prepare. You know, if semicolons are the bane of your existence and you keep getting feedback about sentences like that, put that in there so that I can have some resources for you to take away from the session, and I can have some things prepared for you. So the more specific you are there, the more prepared I'll be to help you with exactly what you need. And then please do follow these instructions to share your drafts. They're basically just asking you to share a Google Doc that I can have access to. That way I can read it before a session, maybe make some comments on it, and we can talk about it. If you have any questions about any of these things, I've put my email in a number of different places. Please reach out. I'm happy I know you get a ton of information the first week of class. So if you're like, oh, wait, what? How do I do? Just email me. I'm happy to help you. And please, please, please do fill out this survey so that I can put a schedule together. I'm hoping I will leave this survey open for at least a week. But I'm hoping that by the time Labor Day rolls around, that schedule will be fairly finished. Speaking of Labor Day, just quickly, decisions were made at a pay grade higher than mine to roll out an entirely new tutoring platform after Labor Day. They have not trained me on it yet. All I know is what it is. And so hopefully they will start training me so that I can share the information with you. Please be rest assured that I will share all of the information with you as soon as I have it. And I may even ask Professor Whipple if I can come back and walk you through the new way of doing things. I don't think it's the best idea to do this 2 weeks into the semester. However, it's going to happen and we can't do anything about it. So I don't worry though, we'll get through it, and just want you to know that I am here to help you. I'm working in collaboration with your professor, so you can be assured that we're working from the same playbook. And it is one of my greatest, I love my job. I love helping students. So never feel like you're bothering me. That's what I'm doing here for you. So hope y'all have a great semester. And if you have any questions right now, I'll be happy to answer them about any of this.
No questions, but thank you.
Absolutely. I really look forward to working with y'all. And again, I cannot stress enough, do not feel like you're bothering me. If you want to send me emails, I'm here.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm so excited because, I mean, part of this is because after my department, we did our big program review last year, and one of our goals was how to have more structured support for students in 2311. And then I got the email about embedded tutoring and embedded coaching. I was like, oh, did ACC just do my whole project for me? And yeah, so if you are feeling a lot of information overload, just a reminder, I record these sessions, I post them to YouTube. It takes as long to process as it takes. But by end of day, is always my aim to get that posted, and I'll send you the link. So even if you're in class, you can just go rewatch the segment on how to set that up if you're a really visual person. That's why I also do video versions of my big long weekly announcements, which after like week 2 won't be nearly as long, because I know some people just really prefer to listen or watch something rather than read. So this will be available if you need to rewatch it. And this is in the syllabus, but just a reminder, because not everyone is always clear, if you do miss class for any reason, and you want those participation points, watch the video. It's generally, if you send me the general prompt in the syllabus is to send me a summary of something what you took from the class. Some weeks there might be a different prompt to recoup those participation points, but I'll always include it in the email. So, all right, let's get to introducing ourselves. And then we're going to have our writing activity. I'll introduce the class. I'll go over some of the key points in the syllabus. The syllabus is 20 pages long because there's a lot of required policy language. I'm not going to read all of that to you. And then I will, with any time left, I'll do a quick assignment review. I know I went over things yesterday, but just a quick assignment review where you can ask questions. So my favorite thing to do in an online class is, I've been teaching online ever since I started at ACC, but I do miss getting to have the first day in a physical classroom. But My favorite icebreaker is we're gonna go around, say our names, what major you're in, and then what is your favorite bird? And if your favorite bird is chicken nuggets or Tweety bird, that is also fine. I just feel like that's a question no one gets asked. And Catherine, you're actually, you're welcome to let us know your favorite bird as well. So my name is Professor Allison Whipple, and I've been teaching technical writing for a long time now. And I'm really torn between my favorite bird, the whooping crane and the wild turkey. They're very different birds, but the whooping crane is a pretty spectacular sight to see. And wild turkeys, they're really underrated in terms of how cool they are as birds. So I'm a big bird watcher. So Catherine, do you want to share your favorite bird with us? You're muted.
I would have to say I haven't really contemplated a favorite bird. I do love watching hawks in the sky. I've never seen one right up close, but yeah, hawks and falcons, the ones that float and soar. I always wish that I was them so that I could get up out of the day-to-day and just fly around. So I'll say those.
They're pretty spectacular. If you've ever gotten the chance to see one actually go for the kill, it is simultaneously, it's like a nature show. So
terrifying and beautiful at the same time.
yes. Yeah. So we're gonna go alphabetical order by first name from here on out. So Ahmed Ismail, if you want to introduce yourself.
I think he's passing on that.
We'll give him a second to unmute.
Was I asked?
No, I asked for Ahmed to unmute.
Okay.
But, oh, someone was, yeah, someone did get kicked off. I'm just trying to keep track. That's fine. Well, we can come back to Ahmed. So Ashton Acuna, you are next in your alphabetical order.
Hello, I'm Ashton Acuna. This is my second year at ACC, and I'm studying audio engineering. I'd say my favorite bird, I think the hummingbird's pretty cool, the way it just like floats there. So I'd go with that.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Cesar Rodriguez.
Hello, I'm Cesar Rodriguez. This is my second year at ACC. I'm currently in the motion graphics program, scheduled to graduate next year. If I had a favorite bird, probably Big Bird from Sesame Street. Such an icon, absolute legend. Nobody ever can trump him. But if it was to be a real bird, it'd probably be a hummingbird. Only because they're the only ones who can fly backwards. And I think that's some pretty cool engineering development in like the natural world. But yeah. Thank you. It's nice to meet you all and hope to see you guys more often. Take care.
All right, Ken.
Hi, yeah, Ken Cameron. I'm a returning ACC student. I've gone to ACC many times in the past to study different things. I am currently enrolled in the engineering graphics department doing a mechanical CAD specialization. And I guess my favorite bird, because I see them in my backyard occasionally, are red cardinals or blue jays. Thank you.
I'm always impressed at how just freaking loud blue jays are, considering their relative size in the bird world. Nicholas Lau.
Hi, I'm Nicholas. I'm wrapping up my film production certificate, and I would have to say my favorite bird is an owl. Yeah.
Owls are pretty amazing. All right, Quincy Haney.
Hi, my name is Quincy Haney. I'm not really involved in a program right now. I'm just looking through different classes and seeing what sticks. My favorite bird is the cassowary because it's big, it doesn't fly, it's very pretty, and it has a nasty toe claw. And I also am very fond of dinosaurs, so it's probably the closest thing we got that's alive. Thank you all.
Yeah, cassowaries are no joke. All right, Sarah Wagoner.
My name is Sarah Wagner, and I'm going to ACC, trying to go for my associates in applied science and automotive. Hoping to graduate here in the spring next year. My favorite owl, or sorry, my favorite bird would have to be an owl. I actually used to have some screech owls in my backyard that I used to watch all the time, and I used to have a blue jay that used to attack it all the time. So they have to be my least favorite are blue jays.
They are, blue jays are, they're funny, but yeah, no, owls are pretty cool. So, okay, activity time. So I'm going to pull up my PowerPoint, and what we're gonna do is get out your writing implement, and we're gonna do just some speed writing, not for a grade, but this is to get you thinking about the way you've learned to write in the past and what you think this class might be like. Because one of the things I found is a lot of people come to this class and it's rather different from any other English class they have ever had. So desktop, I'm gonna pull up PowerPoint. Try not to accidentally mute myself. If for some reason you think you're not seeing what I'm seeing, please unmute and yell at me because it's not always easy to see the comments when you're on full screen. So we're going to start. We're just going to do 2-minute sprints. So I'm going to put up a prompt. I'll give you 2 minutes. And then at the end of 2 minutes, we're going to switch. So rapid fire. Don't think too hard. So first, how did you learn to write? All right, quick recap. Some people just were able to hop back in. Oh, good. Everyone who got kicked out is coming back in. So as a reminder, if you just were able to reconnect, we're doing little 2-minute writing sprints. I'm gonna move on to the second one. If you missed the first one, it's okay. Again, this is recorded. So second topic, 2 minutes, free writing. Oops, and I'm out of. What have your other writing classes been like? All right, again, we've had a few other people trickle in, so we're doing quick writing sprints, 2 minutes per topic. Moving on to the third topic now. What kind of writing do you usually do at school? 2 minutes.
Why'd you do it? I'll come back. Nobody's chasing me.
If you're unmuted, could you mute yourself, please? Thanks. All right, fourth topic. What kind of writing do you usually do at work? 2 minutes. All right, last question. What do you think a technical writing class entails? 2 minutes. All right, those are our 2-minute sprints. Oops, I keep wanting to hit the arrow key and that doesn't work in Zoom screen share. I have used all the platforms since we went fully online and they're all different. So we've gotten quite a few people come in. So I'm just gonna have us type in the chat for the debrief just to keep things straightforward so we're not all talking over each other. So in the chat, feel free to share, how did you learn how to write? And, if you type this, you can copy and paste a sentence that, really stands out to you. How did you learn how to write? Through the military. Great. Yeah. So a lot of classes. Sarah's pointing out in the job as a secretary. Yeah, you learn a lot when you actually have to get to work. Yeah, development through school, AP classes. Good. Poetry through ACC. Oh, I love the creative writing people at ACC. Fountain pen. Oh, wow. Yeah, journaling, that's good. Journaling is useful practice for sure. Yeah, definitely working in HR, that's going to teach you a lot about how to communicate well. Oh my gosh. I took a lot of, obviously I took a lot of writing classes if I ended up in this profession, but truly the most I've ever learned came from working just on the job. All right. What have some of y'all's other writing classes been like? Yeah, most people who take this class, it's their first in a while, so that's okay. You are definitely not the only one. Yeah, AP English. AP English is definitely, I took AP English, so definitely you do a lot of writing. Yeah. General English class. Tech writing at the beginning of 2019. Nicholas, who did you have tech writing with in 2019? Just curious. Good, writing about opinions. There's not going to be a lot of opinion writing in this class, just so you know. We're going to do a lot of informative writing, but I'm just going to tell you, like, there's no thesis statements in technical writing class, at least not in this one. Ooh, a performance component. I don't know that I think I would struggle with that one. I say, even though I talk to people for a living, but let's see. Yeah, first English class, public speaking is it is a challenge. It's going to be weird when I can finally go back to the classroom. It's going to just, oh God, I'm going to be like, oh God, I'm going to be at square one all over again. So most of you all have to write for other classes. So what kind of writing do you usually do, like, in your other classes? Whether it's maybe it's lab reports or, other types of papers, PowerPoints, research reports. We're going to be doing short research reports in this class. Creative writing, some research reports, storyboards, nice. I teach multimedia too, and I love teaching storyboards. Yeah. Research, good. Yeah. Analytical, solid. Yeah. So most of these things we're going to actually be drawing on for this class. We're just going to be basically like applying similar concepts applied in different ways. So think of all of the stuff you've had to learn and had to use in other contexts as tools, and we're just going to take them out and use them for different things. So now a lot of y'all are employed. So what kind of writing do you usually do in regards to your job? Daily reports. Nice. I imagine those have to be pretty short. Script writing, letter writing, good. Letter writing, good that you already have a background in that. That's going to help you. Yeah, you will probably need to write pitches, definitely. Informative, yeah, not everyone does a lot of writing at work, but I like to ask that question because I like to make you think about what kind of writing do I do at work? Direct communication with vendors. You know what, texting? No, texting is important because let me tell you, when you have to text with people, there's a reason emojis exist, right? And it's actually to substitute for a lot of body language and facial expression and other aspects of tone that really get lost in texting. And I love texting. I'm the older end of the texting generation. but so learning how to text is a thing unto itself, especially if you have to text at work. Repair reports. Oh, yes. Yeah. Emails, of course. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I can see like people in this class definitely, yes, avoid death by PowerPoint. A lot of people in this class really already y'all have some background that's really going to set you up for success here. And that's, you know, this is always to me a mixed level class. I always get people who have been in, you know, they've been in their careers for a while. And I have people who are fresh out of high school and they're like, oh no, I don't even know how to write a resume because I feel like I haven't done anything. You have, don't worry. But so it's exciting to just see that y'all already have bits and pieces of experience that are going to slot into certain units really well. So, okay. So let's talk a little about I'm going to introduce the class. So what are we going to do? We're going to practice writing in every class session. Some are going to be heavier on the writing than the others. Reinforce class concepts with discussion boards and quizzes. Draw on critical thinking, research, science, and yes, math to complete your assignments. Don't worry, it's not hard math, because let me tell you, I barely got through trig. But I did well in geometry, and I did well in stats, and I did, you know, pretty okay. I could hold my own in algebra. Didn't voluntarily study any of it in college, but the point is, like, this is all going to be like, we're going to be using high school math here, so don't worry. Draw on, let's see, math, refine your skills with our graded assignments. And then you're going to have a take-home final exam that's based on a practical application of class material. That's a new thing for me this semester. I always say, like, at the end of every semester, I'm like, oh, I'm never doing anything different. I'm just keeping it the same from here on out. This is the best version of the class. And then prep time starts and I'm like, oh, what about this? So this time we are going to do a take-home final. And it's based on application of the class material, and that you'll have one of two prompts to choose from. It's just one question, open everything. And that'll be available after Thanksgiving. So our basic class structure, week 1, this week, we're in orientation. Week 16 is finals. And in between that, we have 7 2-week units with specific themes. In the first week, we're going to have a skill building exercise in class, an introductory lecture, and homework activities to reinforce concepts. In the second week, we'll do an in-class peer critique. If in any of your assignments you see post your draft to the discussion board, don't. I'm still going through and manually taking all of those things out. So it'll be a peer critique in class. We'll have a style or formatting lecture. So I'll be teaching you how to incorporate graphics. I'll be teaching you how to do headings, reinforcement activities as necessary. So if I see like people are really struggling in one particular area, I'll throw in another activity to just help strengthen that concept. And then at the end of that second week, you'll submit your revised writing assignment. So, first, tips for success: complete your assignments on time. Just a reminder, the late work policy is deadlines are set, but life happens. So if life has happened, I ask that you send me an email detailing the assignment you missed and how you're going to get caught up and when I can expect that work from you. And that's been my new strategy for about a year, and it's been working a lot better than previous policies. But complete assignments on time. By the way, hint, I don't check timestamps. So, you know, if your homework's due on Friday night and you get it in at like, you know, if it's due at 11:59 p.m. on Friday night and you get it in at, you know, 2 in the morning because you're a night owl, I'm not going to look at the timestamp. Just get it in, you know, at some point, you know, on Friday-ish, you know, 2 a.m. Saturday, basically still Friday. Meet with Catherine for coaching on your assignments. Individual appointments will be 5 points of extra credit. Those group sessions, they might be more, they might be 5. I'm still pondering that. Attend office hours when you need to. And, you know, if my regular office hours don't work for you, I have that appointment request form. Please fill it out. I get an email notification when you do. It really has made things easier all online to do that. And, you know, communicate with me if you're having trouble with any aspect of the class. I don't have ESP, and especially now that I'm not in the same room with you at all, I can't always tell when you are having trouble. So, but, you know, I'm always happy to help. All right, technical communication. A lot of you are already doing it. You just might not even be calling it technical writing. So, formally defined as an audience-centered means of communication to provide a reader with clear and easy access to information. So, focus, keeping it simple, making it information really easy to find. So, getting specific information using things like headings and other submarkers, and clear information. You don't need to take a bunch of time to interpret the meaning. The reader just needs to immediately grasp the meaning. You know, this is not some dense writing that you want the reader to puzzle over. That's not what they're here for. They're here to just get in, get out. In terms of words and phrases and sentence structure, we're keeping it straightforward. So if you've always been a person who's struggled to meet a word count or a page count minimum, let me tell you, guess what? You don't need to worry about that in this class. In technical writing, if you can say it in 5 words rather than 10, that works to your advantage. So your tendency to be terse, yeah, some of you are already appreciating that. That works to your advantage in tech writing. We want to keep it uncomplicated. And, you know, jargon gets it gets sort of a bad rap. I'm trying not to, like, I have a tendency to swear. So I'm trying to, you know, at least keep that to a minimum. But jargon gets a bad rap, but a lot of times in a particular trade or profession, you need to use profession-specific language. So that's acceptable and necessary. Especially because, you know, in that case, the message is intended for members of a particular profession. You can bank on the, you know, likelihood that they know that, or they're going to know how to look it up. So for a lot of you in your English classes already, you've done a lot of academic writing. Sometimes that's academic writing is designed to entertain, often to persuade, to inform. But sometimes there's no inherent purpose. And I'm a poet. I love creative writing. So, you know, but sometimes poetry or stories, they don't necessarily have a clear purpose. But then things like academic articles or books or assignments you might write, those do have a definite purpose. In technical writing, there is some persuasion, but we're not going to do a lot of that in this class. We are going to focus in this class on the informative side for sure. And we're going to be doing some research. And there is almost always a definite purpose. No one sits, I say no one, I'm sure there's some exceptions somewhere. But there's generally always a definite purpose. So the supervisor orders the report and the employee writes the report, although usually it's done on a team. This is about 2 years ago, The Economist reported that something like 90% of workplace writing is team writing. So, you know, if you hate group projects, I'm sorry, that's honestly what most of adulthood is. And, you know, usually the writer or the reader is there just to read for information, and just the exact right amount of information. One of the things we'll cover as we get into some of the actual documents is that too little information is unhelpful, too much information, also unhelpful. Format, academic writing, paragraphs, topic sentences, some pictures, definitely like in scientific academic writing or engineering stuff, you'll see, you might see some screenshots, you'll see equations, you might see some line drawings, you might see some imaging from microscopes or MRIs or other things. So there definitely are graphics. In tech and certainly like in an academic journal, you'll definitely see headings. But in technical writing, it almost like ups the ante. And I've worked in both disciplines. I have 2 master's degrees, and I once actually worked in a science lab and in a research lab at a university hospital, turning academic press releases into academic journals into press releases. One of my favorite jobs ever. So I've definitely been in deep in both sides, and in technical writing, the headings and subheadings, they really up the ante on that, because it is considered crucial for the reader to finding the document. We'll get into headings in Unit 3, so in about 3 weeks. Makes use a lot of formatting elements such as bulleting, italicizing or underlining on the way out. Stylistically, that's not means it's bad or wrong. It's just, it's not trendy anymore. Bold type to help things stand out, and also making use of white space, a term that I have an aversion to from too much time in poetry workshops where they talk about white space in a different and ridiculous context. And also really makes use of many types of graphics, which ones you use when, it depends a lot on context. We will start with that next week. So we'll do, Unit 2 will be, our formatting element will be graphics. We'll do headings, and then we'll do graphics twice, but we'll start with real basic graphics in Unit 2, and then in about Unit 4 or 5, I restructured all of my units. It's like 4 or 5, we're gonna get way more refined with it. Language in academic writing, words, they tend to be elaborate. Transition words just tend to be different. There's a lot more subjective, a lot more cogitative or just intellectual, sometimes drawing on things that have multiple meanings. Complex structure, there's often a sense of embellishment or poetic license. And again, I'm a creative writer by trade. I've been in academia a long time, so I'm not hating on academic writing. It's simply like a different skill set for a different purpose. Long sentences are generally considered more acceptable. Synonyms, definitely acceptable. Synonyms are something we actually want to avoid in technical writing. You want to really use the same word every time. And in science academic writing, passive voice is considered okay, but mostly just in science. Whereas in technical writing, active voice, active vocabulary. If you want to really, one way to start really bolstering your skill in that area is to start incorporating a wide variety of verbs into your writing. It's plain. I will say, like, one of my comments I've used a lot is no thesaurus abuse. Stop committing thesaurus abuse. This is the thesaurus abuse. Really, technical vocabulary, great. Artificially inflated vocabulary, frowned upon. We want it to be easy to understand, fact-based, neutral. Again, we're not really doing persuasive writing in this class. We do want to keep pronouns to a minimum. That being said, it is okay to use I or we as necessary to keep something in active voice. In technical writing, it's preferable to say, I did this, or our team did this, or we did this, rather than switch to an active construction. There's to a passive construction. We do want to keep sentence structure uncomplicated. There is some room for repetition. We'll get to that in about 2 weeks. And again, that active voice. So who has questions at this point? Stop screen sharing for the moment.
I don't have any directly right now, but what do most people find as far as like a troubling part going through this course?
Thinking, so that's I've never got asked that question before. I would say things I tend to notice are people are really trained to, and you know what, I actually have an appreciation for the 5-paragraph format because it teaches structure. But a lot of people have gotten trained in that, and then they're like, but that's the only way to do it. I have to do that. And it's really that people have gotten a lot of like very forceful, emphatic advice from English teachers and struggle to break free of that. And that's something I also struggled with. I got really trained in the 5-paragraph essay in high school. And then when I went to college, I was like, what? That's not how you write everything ever. And my 11th grade English teacher was like, a paragraph is 5 to 7 sentences. All paragraphs must be 5 to 7 sentences. So those were habits that were, tough to break. So a lot of it is, and, in technical writing, my general rule is a paragraph should not be 1 sentence in this class. So I give a lot of like context specific things. So struggling to break habits. A lot of people also really trained to write persuasive essays, which is, knowing how to make a well-reasoned persuasive argument is important. There are many other genres. So I definitely have gotten things where we'll walk through and then someone will be like, oh, I want to write a persuasive essay about why sugar is bad. And I'm like, that's not what we're doing. So really it is a struggle to break out of really reinforced habits. This is part of why I'm excited that most of y'all have really already had in one way or another some practical experience, because it's so any residual habits you have, it's probably going to be easier to break those. And then the other thing I would say is that a lot of times people seem to think like that I have a secret set of expectations. So people will, and this is something that's always weird to me, like in an assignment where there's like a fixed topic that I just want everyone to write about this one topic, someone will be like, oh, I wrote my paper about a totally different topic because I thought that would be more interesting to you. And I was like, that's literally not what I asked for. So basically, like, you don't need to impress me by like I am not interested in you doing all sorts of like crazy formatting or doing things differently because you think I secretly am hoping that you will. I'm not. What I ask for in an assignment is just what I ask for. And even if you think, oh, I'm doing the bare minimum, like I want to see what you can do with the bare minimum. And then we build on from there. So yeah, struggling to just change old habits, which again, human thing. All of us, even me. When I took a business writing class about 3 years ago, I took one in this department and I realized, oh, I haven't trained myself out of my habit to be overly wordy entirely. So something we all struggle with. Yeah, just read the instructions, read the rubric, and stick to that again. And I love creative writing, and in your final exam, that will be the chance to really get creative. But I give a lot of structure and fixed topics because I want you to practice applying a specific skill. That's all. So, but hopefully the final exam, that will, like, for people who really want to really get more creative. Hopefully that will help. So. All right. I'm just trying to think. Oh man. Okay. I do want to go over the syllabus, but we did have a couple of people who weren't able to introduce themselves earlier. Oh, someone. Okay. So, Aaron, you are alphabetically by first name, first on the list. When we did introductions, we said our name, our major, and our favorite bird. So would you like to just introduce yourself to everyone? Or yeah, oh yeah, there you are. And I know some people have been. All right, well, we will. Oh, yeah. We'll come back to Aaron. Destiny, do you want to, are you able to unmute and introduce yourself to the class?
Sure. My name's Destiny, and I'm an accounting major, and I don't really have a favorite bird.
That's all right. Edna Solis.
Hello, I look crazy. I'm Edna. I am in office administration, and I'm actually work study. I'm actually at work right now. But yeah, favorite bird. I don't know many birds.
It could also be a fictional bird or a food bird.
I'm just gonna go with the mockingjay because that's like the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah, no, they're great. Yeah, they are. And I'm just curious, Edna, was that a Riverside or sorry, not Riverside? Was that Highland that you're at?
I'm at Eastview right now.
Oh, Eastview, beautiful campus, love it. I used to live right up the street from there. Love that one.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be back actually, but
Good.
we're just cleaning up, getting everything ready for when we do get to come back in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I was put all online for the whole semester as a matter of course, which I was super bummed about, but now I'm like, but my partner teaches at UT and they are going back this afternoon, and I'm just super nervous because they're vaccinated and masked, but they have asthma, and I'm just like, I have a lot of anxiety about it. But
oh, I feel you. I have a 4-year-old, so breaks my heart every time I drop her off at school, but we have to do this.
yeah. So Aaron, if at some point you find you're able to unmute and want to introduce yourself, just send me a direct message and I'll get you on there. And we have about 20 minutes left. I'm going to do a screen share. I'm going to do a quick syllabus tour. And again, we're obviously not reading the full 20-page document, but key information. So office hours are here. Okay. All right. Aaron just said he's ready. So Aaron, go ahead, unmute yourself, introduce yourself, and then we'll do the syllabus.
Thank you. Sorry about that. I've been a little bit of a hectic morning, so I kind of missed out on a little bit here. But I'm Aaron. I would say my favorite birds are red cardinal, just because I love the way they look, the bright redness.
And what's your
I'm not 100% sure what all we're supposed to say. I apologize.
What's your major?
Right now I'm majoring for kinesiology.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I'm wrapping that up next semester, so I'm pretty excited for these next 2 semesters, obviously.
All right, thank you. All right, so office hours, Tuesdays, noon to 2:30. So since I'm home, I take a quick break, walk my dog, and then come back for office hours. So that's the Zoom link. That's just my personal Zoom meeting room. And then Thursdays, 11 to 1:30. And I do have a waiting room with a message on it. So if you look, stuff happens, right? So if it seems like I'm not there, or you're in the waiting room for more than 20 minutes, and I have the waiting room because obviously we need to not be barging in on each other's private conversations, or you need to talk to me, but you're having internet issues, text or call my phone number, which is there. It is my cell, because which I know, you know, basically office forwarding from my office phone never worked very well. So there is a link to the appointment request form. I generally stop responding after 8 p.m. So I'm on 8 to 8. Sometimes I'm on a little earlier or a little later, but 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. is your best bet. So that's the course description. Again, this is all policy stuff. If you intend to transfer somewhere, this is an academic course that has transferability, but you also might need 1301 or 1302. Check with your advisor. There is no required textbook. The textbook's going to be out of date next semester, so that is why, like, this field changes so much that I just I can't justify it. So we're going to use a mix of, we have class, but you might have some videos to watch. I do generally assign some reading. It's just not a textbook. Again, discussions, peer critiques, writing assignments, occasional reflections, and occasional quizzes. The live stream sessions are, an integral part of the course, and readings will be available. We're not going to do every single one of these things every single week, obviously, but mix it up. If you do need Wi-Fi, there is drive-up Wi-Fi if necessary. Grading system, I teach 5 to 7 classes every semester. 7 is not ideal, but things happen. So I do try to have everything back within a week. There's often some point in the middle of the semester where I am grading a little slower, but I really try to keep up with it because it's good for you and it's good for me to keep up with it. Your grade for the course is listed in the weighted total column, and there will be, again, extra credit offered throughout the semester. That does not get calculated in until final grades are due. Like, I keep it in the grade book. It doesn't get factored into your final grade until stuff is due, because Blackboard makes it a huge thing to deal with, basically. But I will keep the running total. It just won't get factored in until the end of the semester, because Blackboard makes it super complicated. If you see any conflicts between due dates in the syllabus and somewhere else, like in an email, please do let me know. Again, in Black, you have to update everything manually, and things fall by the wayside. So here's a breakdown of all of the various things. So in class participation, so that's just like showing up and doing the activity. Peer critique participation, showing up and doing the peer critique. Discussion board posts, and so these are like accumulated for all of them. The survey, the quiz, so all of the quizzes. I try to group things by type as much as possible. So we've got the discussion board posts, the quizzes, and then down here are all of your graded assignments, most of which are worth 100 points each, except for the elevator speech, just because that doesn't get as much feedback, and also it's really short. And then there's a final reflection at the end. It's just a nice, easy 10 points. Okay, so again, here's a bunch of activities. We're not going to do all of them. Also, I don't think we will do some like mini presentations and audio recordings, but I don't think we're going to use VoiceThread because it has never worked the way I wanted it to. But so substitute other technology for that. Well, you generally do a mix of 3 to 4 a week. It is your responsibility to decide to withdraw from the class. I do have the right to do that, but I feel really bad about doing so. So, you know, if you totally disappear for a month and never respond to any of my emails and things like that, then I will probably drop you. But I'm also, I forget. So if you want out of the class, your best bet is to withdraw yourself. It's ideal to do that. There's the final withdrawal date. That's Thursday, November 19th. If you're going to withdraw, I recommend you do that at least 24 hours before the final deadline because stuff happens. And of course, there are all sorts of potential implications for withdrawing. If you have questions about that, it's best to talk to your advisor. Again, I've set all the deadlines. Of course, again, if environmental or technological factors get in the way, those are subject to change, but you know, for all intents and purposes, they're set. But if life happens, you know, ideally contact me within 48 hours indicating the assignment, your plan to get caught up, and the date you're going to turn the work in. And I know that life is not ideal, but these guidelines are a structuring principle. Plagiarism, it's pretty serious. I take it very seriously. So I do expect you're going to do your original effort, all original effort. I do not run plagiarism checks inherently by default, but I definitely do run them when necessary. And you know, if you have any questions about, is this plagiarism? I'm not sure I understand. Please come to office hours or set up an appointment with me because it's not always as cut and dried as we think it is. So no shame if you're unclear. But it is something I do take seriously. So, you know, for a minor infraction or a first time infraction, you'll probably just get some points off. But you could fail the assignment, you could fail the whole course, you could be withdrawn from the course, or worst case scenario, you could be reported to the dean and have to undergo a formal disciplinary process. I've only had to do that once. Please don't make me do it again. It's not fun for anybody. So, I would rather you come to me and say, or come to Catherine, who knows a lot about these sorts of things. Come to one of us and say, I'm not sure I've cited this correctly, or is this plagiarism? We will help you, both of us. We are so happy to help you with that. Extra credit is offered to the class as a whole. If you don't do homework for a month and then say, can I have extra credit? The answer is just no. But I've already offered it to the class as a whole once. And again, anyone who goes and has an appointment with Catherine can get some extra credit. Here's the school's incomplete policy. Basically, you can apply for an incomplete, and I'm generally inclined to grant them, but if you feel like you need an incomplete, honestly, I'd rather you come talk to me first and we'll see if we can get a plan to get you, if you're behind and you want to take an incomplete. Ideally, you could come talk to me first and we could try to come up with a plan to get you to finish. Just because historically, anecdotally, I have found that students who take an incomplete struggle to finish after the semester is over. Because guess what? It's a new semester. Now you've got all your other responsibilities to deal with. And if you don't complete all of the incomplete assignments by the deadline, ACC will give you an F for the class, which is worse than the C that most people would have just gotten. So again, as long as you follow the incomplete procedure, I am inclined to grant them. But ideally, we would have a conversation first about seeing if there's a way to get you caught up. And sometimes there's not, but you know, when there is, I always prefer to try to get that done because no one wants to finish last semester's coursework in the new semester, just nobody. So, and ACC is really strict about that deadline. Like that's really hard to push back. So here's our calendar. So our in-class activities are listed. Again, and then all the other deadlines are there. And again, any deadline that's for a non-graded assignment, I still give you a deadline just to help you structure your time. but I won't be checking as to whether or not you've read all of the Start Here materials by tomorrow night. Like, I'm not going to worry about that. But you know, encouragement to keep just keep you on track. So there's all of this is the whole schedule. This is all also copied and pasted into Blackboard. And now we have 7 pages of policy documents. Ooh, I didn't delete all the extra spaces. This was like copied and pasted from the master syllabus. And as a technical writer, I have a lot of opinions about the formatting of the master syllabus, but nobody hired me to develop it. So if you are going to be on campus for any reason, face masks are required. And there's a health screening app you have to download and do some sort of checklist to go in. I haven't tried that yet, but do that. Please do not go to campus if you are feeling unwell. Just don't. This is honestly always something I believed in before the pandemic. So just don't. And be sure, and you will need to present an ID and go through a health screening and all that. If you do need a vaccination, ACC does have both vaccination clinics, and they have testing on select campuses. So again, I'm not going to go through all of these policy documents. These are also in your student handbook, and we only have 6 minutes left. So are there any questions before I do a quick assignment review and then send you off into your day?
Negative.
Y'all, I just realized that I made a mistake in the link that I sent you for the survey.
Okay.
So please don't respond to the survey right after you get off this, or give me 5 minutes and I will post the correct link for the survey and send it to you in email. I really do want your feedback on this, so I apologize for the mess up, but let me get you the correct link, and then, you know, fill it out at your leisure, but hopefully before the next time that y'all have a live session. Okay.
No problem. It happens at the start of every semester.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, I can't believe you did that. All right. So
oh yeah, no, I have a total, like, I forgot to adjust all of the like actual in-class dates for my Wednesday and Thursday classes. They all have Tuesday in the syllabus. So, you know. Yeah, no one's perfect.
Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it.
So real quick, I just want to go over in our last 5 minutes, recap the assignments for the week. So most of them are in Start Here, but there's also links to them in our Unit 1 folder. Okay, good. And again, I've copied the calendar for every week into here, which now I'm like, I'm gonna have to go and redo that for my other 2 sections. Good job, me. So if you're ever like, oh, I feel so bad at my job, we all make mistakes all the time. I do something like this every semester. So there's a goal setting discussion board post. And again, there is no word count minimum. If you see any of that in an old assignment, again, I'm still working to like go through and get rid of all of those, but I decided to do away with them last year. And again, I've seen good results, but so I have a prompt, and I do have some notes about what constitutes a successful post and successful responses to help you. There's a survey, it's a Google Doc. It again helps me just get to know you a little more. You can voluntarily include a phone number in case you would like to, in case of some sort of urgent issue, received a text or a phone call. The only time I've had to do that was during the snowpocalypse, which was, you know, helpful because it was easier for me to like text than try to deal with internet when my power was out. So not something I've ever had to make use of and is entirely voluntary, but has been helpful when necessary. But again, entirely voluntary. please do not feel pressured. There are some people who voluntarily opt out every semester. It's not a big deal. And then there is the syllabus quiz, also called the orientation quiz. You have 3 chances to complete it. All of those must be done by the due date. So that's that. And we are just about at time. So are there any last questions? All right, one has shown up. All right, it seems like everyone is set. So unless you wanted to hang out with me and chat and ask some one-on-one questions afterward, you are free to go. And I'm going to take a half-hour break, and I'll be back on for office hours in 30 minutes.
Thank you.
Yep, have a
Awesome.
great week.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Hi. Sorry, I just wanted to.
So just 1 second, we are not
Okay.
entirely anonymous.
Well,
There's people. Okay.
That's fine. I didn't want to like completely like just talk to the entire class. It's just kind of you.
Okay, hold on. I am going to stop the recording though. 1 second.
Okay, that's fine. Yep.
And I'm going to stop screen sharing, and I'm going to turn off the recording.